Okay guys, so then we are back with another video. Alright, so I told you I'll be discussing simultaneous equation in this video, right? If you are in the any groups that I've created and in the WhatsApp channel, I informed that we'll be discussing simultaneous equation. So we'll just do a very quick video on how to solve a simultaneous equation, or what is a simultaneous equation, then how to solve it. We'll be discussing three past paper questions, that is 2021, 22, 23 and 24. Right, I've sent the questions on the groups, right? And I'll when I'm doing the question, I'll put the question on the screen too, right? Now, just a word before starting the video, right? So I've made a book on the past 10 years of past papers. So what I've done is I've made the past papers into sections, right? Into topics. That is, I've classified the past paper, right? So it's way more easier for you to learn. For example, if you learn, let's say, fractions as your first structured essay, right? If you learn fractions, all the past 10 years questions on fractions are in one place, right? Apart from that, from your first part A of your part 1 small questions, right? All what is relevant on that lesson is on the specific chapter. So it's very convenient for you to learn, right? So then try to get this book. I'll put the Google form on the description, right? You can fill the Google form and it'll be delivered within a week to your doorstep, right? Okay, so then before starting to solve questions, first of all, we'll learn what is a simultaneous equation. If you take a normal equation, right? What do you have an equation? You have an unknown term. You have the idea of an equation is to solve the equation to find the unknown term, okay? Now, for example, if you take 2x plus 5 is equal to 10, that is way more easier to solve. You just bring the 5 here and divide both sides by 2, you get the value of x. But a simultaneous equation is when your equation has two unknown terms, right? Actually more than one, right? Any equation with more than one unknown term is called a simultaneous equation. Now, in your syllabus, in your O-level local syllabus, you learn only two unknown terms, but when you go further, right, let's say you do A-level science or maths, right, you'll encounter simultaneous equation where the one equation has more than two unknown terms. There's 3, there's 4, right? So then any of these simultaneous equation can be solved in a way that we solve today, right? It's just that there are more steps to it, okay? Now, what's the idea? Now, when you have more than one unknown term in an equation, you can't solve just by using one equation, right? So then the idea is, if you have two unknown terms, we need a pair, that is two such simultaneous equations, okay? So what do? We use both of these equations and we create a new equation where there is only one unknown term. That is, we use both the equation, we remove one unknown term and we create a new equation with only one unknown term. So as you know, if you have only one unknown term in your equation, you can solve that and find the unknown term. After you find one unknown term in this equation, now one unknown term is known, so now no longer it's a simultaneous equation. It's a simple equation now, because one term is known, then you can easily find the other unknown term, right? Now let's take an example, right? Just a very simple example. Now in your papers, before getting on the example, remember, they won't give you the simultaneous equation directly. Now you'll understand when we do the questions, right? You will have to build your own simultaneous equation. They'll give you a small case scenario, right? Using that story or case scenario, you're going to build your own simultaneous equation, that is two a pair. Then you're going to solve it, find the unknown terms, okay? Right. Now let's say, for an example, I'll take a very easy one, right? Let's say, for example, let's say we have 2x plus 3y, right? Let's say we have 2x plus 3y, that is equal to, let me think, so let's say that is equal to 13, right? At the same time, let's say we have 4x, right? Let's say 4x, let's put a minus there, right? Let's say 4x minus 2y, right? Let's say 4x minus 2y, that is equal to 2, right? Now, let's say you have these both equations and your goal is to find the value of x and y. Okay, so remember what I said, two things, right? One thing, you're going to use both of these equations and remove one unknown term. You can choose whether to remove x or whether to remove y. That's up to you, right? We choose which term to remove and we add or subtract. We'll come to it. What are we going to do? Whether we're going to add or whether we're going to subtract, depending on the equation, right? And we're going to add or subtract. Then by adding or subtracting, we're going to remove one term, then the other term will remain, and we're going to find the value of the unknown term, right? Now see here, there are two things you have to consider, right? First thing, if you need to remove a term, right, that is both of the values should be equal. For example, you have 10 and 8. Whether you add or subtract, you can't remove 10 or 8. Right? That is, if you add a 10 and 8, you get 18. If you subtract 8 from 10, you're going to get 2. Right? So, if it makes sense, both of these numbers should be equal. For example, if you have 10 and 10, then if you subtract them, you can get 0. That's the idea here. For example, if you have 3y and 3y here, if you subtract them, you can remove y there. You get it? Right. But here, if you see you have 3y and 2y, you're not getting anywhere to remove it. So the idea, first thing is you're going to choose what to remove. After you choose what to remove, you're going to make them equal, the value equal, right? Now, if I say here the easiest to remove, right? Now, to remove them, you have to make it equal, right? Now, if you get x here, right, these coefficients should be equal. Now, 4 and 2, right? Now, you know by doing questions, right? If you need to make two numbers, you need to find a common multiple to make those two numbers equal. You're going to find the common multiple. To be precise, it's the least common multiple, right? So if you find the least common multiple of 2 and 4, you know how to do it. Use the downward division method. I'm not going to go in detail, right? Using the downward division method, you're going to find what is the LCM, the least common multiple. So you can see the LCM here is 4. But if you see here 3 and 2, the LCM is 6, right? Now if you need to convert this to 4, it's already 4, nothing to convert there. But here you can multiply by 2 and get to 4. So you just have to multiply the first equation by 2. But if you want to remove y here, the idea is to remove a term and we are going to make it equal. So if you need to make x equal, you need to multiply this by 4. But if you need to make y equal, you have to convert both of them to 6. Multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 3. So it's involving two multiplications, right? So you have to choose the easiest one to solve, right? Now, according to this question, the easiest is just to remove x here. Why we have to multiply only one equation, right? Now, this is a proper way to write an answer. What do? You name the equation first of all, always. It should be a proper discipline, right? You name the equation number 1 and 2. Now to make the x equal here, we multiply the first equation by 2, right? Now what do? Remember, it's an equation, right? So if you need to multiply one term, you're going to multiply the whole equation. Why? To maintain the equal sign. Both left and right should be equal, right? So in that case, we are multiplying each term. 2 into 2x plus 2 into 3x equals to 2 into 13, right? Now we have 4x plus 6x, that is equal to 26. Now I'll mark this as my third equation. Now I've converted the first to third. Now no longer I need my first equation, right? I'm going to use the second and the third equation here, right? Now if you compare, see here, 4x and 4x, now you can remove it. Now in your mind, think, right? If you have 4x and 4x, to remove 4x here, do you add it or do you subtract it, right? It's a simple question, right? So 4x, to make it 0, you definitely have to remove it. Now, I can give you a lot of examples, but that's not the idea of the video. What I'll tell you is a main clue, right? If you're planning to remove a term, two terms, right? The same term, if you're going to plan to remove it, if they have the same sign, it can be addition, subtraction, you're always going to subtract both of the equation, right? Now here if you have 4x and 4x, to make it 0, you're going to subtract it, right? Now if you have minus 4x and minus 4x, again to make it 0, still you subtract it, right? Because when you add two minuses, it becomes more negative, it doesn't get 0, right? But if you have opposite signs, simply to make it 0, you add it, right? So same sign, if you need to remove, you subtract. If you have opposite signs, you're gonna add it, right? Now here it's the same sign, so you need to subtract it, okay? Now one more thing, a tiny detail you have to be careful about. is after you remove x here, what will remain? Y will remain, right? So this should be y, right? After you remove x there, y will remain. So then what you have to do? Make sure that y is always positive, right? Unless it can be negative, but you go wrong at the end. But so make sure it's always positive, right? So then here, see, I'll just take the y only, don't get confused, just the y, right? If I subtract the second from the third, two options, I can either 2 minus 3 or I can do 3 minus 2, right? If I do 2 minus 3, just the y, I'm just going to show you which one, if you choose, y will be positive. So minus 2y in your second equation, minus 6y in your third equation, so you'll end up with minus 8y. But here, you have 6y in your third, minus, open a bracket, minus is already there, open a bracket, another minus here. So then you will end up with minus into minus is plus 6y plus 2y, that will be 8y. Right? So this is your correct choice. Okay, so we'll quickly erase the board. Right? So to get y positive, you go with 3 minus 2. So we'll do there 3 minus 2. So you end up with, what is it? All on your left hand side, the third equation, 4x plus 6y minus left hand side of your second equation, 4x minus 2y, that is equal to right hand side of your third, 26 minus 2. Alright? Now if you open the bracket here, 4x plus 6y minus into plus is minus 4x, minus into minus plus 2y, that is equal to 24. Right? Now you can see here plus 4x minus 4x, you can cancel it off. So what will remain? 6 plus 2, that is 8y, that is equal to 24. Now divide both sides by 8 here. I'll write the next part on this side. Right? So then you will end up with y is equal to 3. Right? Now you can use any of these equations. I'll choose the first one because this y is equal to 3. In all of the equation, y is equal to 3. So I can use any of the one. What I'll do, I'll substitute this y to the first equation. Right? So then I have 2x plus 3y. This is my first equation, that is equal to 13. Now I have the value of y here, 2x plus 3 into 3, that is equal to 13. Then I have 9, so 2x plus 9 is equal to 13. It's a simple equation, just solve it, bring the 9 to the other side. So I have 2x is equal to 13 minus 9. So then 2x is equal to 4, divide both sides by 2, I have x is equal to 2. Right? Now this is just a simple example on how to solve this simultaneous equation. Now what are the steps I told you? These steps apply to any question of simultaneous where you have only two unknown terms, right? So what are they? So I told you need two equations. The first thing, you just can't solve it with one equation. You need two equations to solve a simultaneous equation to find the unknown term. Afterwards, you decide what term to remove. By using both the equation, we remove one unknown term, make a new equation with only one unknown term. You had two, now you remove one, you end up with one. Right? So then to remove the one unknown term, you have to make it equal and make sure if both the signs are same, you subtract both of the equation. If it's opposite, you add it. By doing so, you end up with one unknown term. You find the value of one unknown term here. Then afterwards, no longer it's a simultaneous. That is, you know the value of one unknown term. It's a simple equation now. Substitute, get the value of the other unknown term. Right? Okay, now we'll get to the past paper questions that I told you we'll discuss. Alright? Okay, so your 2022 paper, it says it is required. You see, one whole essay question, your fifth essay on 2022 is solely on simultaneous equation. Right? So it is required to buy cricket bats and balls for sports practices in school A and B. It costs 6,160 rupees to buy 3 cricket bats and 8 balls for school A. It costs 4,000 rupees to buy 2 bats and 5 balls in school B. So always when you have, now this is a small question. Sometimes if you see the other past papers, there's huge paragraphs. So you can't keep on reading the paragraphs. So in this case, what do? You write a small summary. So you have school A and school B. Right? So there is bats and there is balls. Okay, I'll erase it, write a bit further. Right, so then in school A, how many bats are they buying? They are buying 3 bats and 8 balls. In school B, they are buying 2 and 5. Right? Now the question, Roman number 1 says, now a small trick here, always just read the Roman number 1 first. Just see what are the unknown terms. Are they giving you the unknown term? Sometimes they don't give you what is the unknown term. By reading the question, you have to figure out what is the unknown term. Now simply you can say here, you don't know what is the price of 1 bat and 1 ball. So that should be the unknown term. Right? So by taking the price of 1 bat as X here, so the bat is X and the ball is Y. So you have to create 2 equations, right? So in school A, the total cost is 6,160. In school B, the total cost is 4,000. Okay? Now using this information, you are going to build a simultaneous equation, right? Now see here, if 1 bat is X, you have 3 bats, then the total price of the bat is 3X in school A. Likewise, if 1 bat is Y, you have 8 bats, then you have 8Y. That is the price of the ball, right? So bats plus ball should give you the total price that is equal to 6,160. That's your first equation. Same thing I can do here. 1 bat is X, 2 bat 2X plus 1 ball is Y, 5 ball that is 5Y, that is equal to 4,000. So now you can see here, you have created 2 equations with 2 unknown terms. That is the price of the bat and the ball. So now you can solve them, right? Now you can see here, 3x, 2x, 8y, 5y, right? Now you can see here, if you need to convert, if you need to remove y here, you're going to make both of the values the same. So 8 and 5, a common multiple. To be precise, the least common multiple is 40, right? So you have to convert this to 40, you're going to multiply by 5. To convert this to 40, you're going to multiply by 8. But if you see x here, you have 3 and 2. To find the common number, to make both of the numbers same. Remember, why are you making the same? To remove it, you have to make it same, right? Okay, so then here, to convert, so 3 and 2, the common term, the least common term, LCM is 6. So you have to multiply this by 2 and this by 3. So that's way more easier than multiplying by 5 and 8. So we'll stick to removing x here, right? Now to remove x here, I need to multiply the first equation by 2 to make it 6. Right, so remember what I told you, each term you're going to multiply by 2. So 2 into 3x plus 2 into 8y, that is equal to 2 into 6,160, right? So 6x plus 16y, right? I'm going to do the calculation a bit faster, again multiplying, get the values, right? So then 2 into 6,000, 12,000, 2 into 160, 320. So we have 12,320, right? Now I've converted the first 2. I'll mark this the third equation, right? No longer I need the first one, right? Now the second equation, to convert this to 6, I need to multiply it by 3 here. So then what do I end up with? So 3 into 2x plus 3 into 5y, that is equal to 3 into 4,000. Alright, so I have 6x plus 15y, that is equal to 12,000. Now I'll name this as my fourth equation. Now no longer I need the second one. I'll focus on the third and fourth. Right? I can clearly see here 6x and 6x. That is, I can remove the x now. I told you if they have the same sign, plus and plus, to remove it, you subtract. Right? So then at the same time in your mind, I told you before you subtract, whether you are going to subtract 3 minus 4 or 4 minus 3, make sure the remaining, now x is going to get removed, the remaining y is positive. To make y positive, you have 16 here, 15, that is you have to subtract 3 minus 4. Right, I'm going to divide this board here. So 3 minus 4. Right, so third one, on your left hand side you have 6x plus 16y minus, fourth one on your left hand side you have 6x plus 15y. Then on your right hand side you have 12,320. I'm going to write a bit below, minus 12,000. Now if you do the subtraction here, you have 6x plus 16y, if you open the bracket, minus 6x minus 15y, that is equal to 320. So 6x minus 6x will get removed, 16 minus 15, that is y. Now y is what? Y is a price of a ball, that is equal to 320. Now what you can do, choose either of the equation. I'll use the second one, right? I'm going to substitute y to the second equation. Alright, now I have 2x plus here, I know the value of y here now, 5 into y is 320, that is equal to 4000, right? 5 into 320, that is equal to 1600, 2x here, that is 4000, take the 1600 to the other side, so I have 2x is equal to 4000 minus 1600, so that is, how much is that? 1400 or 2400. Alright, so that is equal to 2x, divide both sides by 2 here, x is equal to 1200. That is the price of a bat. Okay, so what we have done, we have found the price of a ball and a price of a bat. Okay, now we have a Roman number 2 there. So my book got closed, so we'll get to Roman number 2 there. Alright, Roman number 2, find the number of cricket bats and the number of balls that can be bought for exactly 9,200 rupees, such that the number of balls is twice the number of bats. Okay, so for 9,200, they're asking you how many bats and balls can be bought if you're buying 2 times the number of balls than bats here. Again, it's a simple equation now. So the first thing you're going to do is to find the number of bats and balls you're going to buy. Okay, so that is, if I take the number of bats as x here, the number of balls is equal to 2x. Right? So then see here, now the question, what was the question? Let me get back to it. Find the number of cricket bats and balls that can be bought for exactly 9,200, such that the number of balls is twice the number of bats. Alright, so then what we can do here, we can make an equation. Now we have found the price of a ball and a bat, right? So if I say, if I buy x number of bats here, twice the number of x is 2x. Now I can make an equation. One bat is 1200. If I buy x number of bats, the price is 1200 into x, that is 1200x, plus if I buy 2x number of balls, one ball is 320, so that is 320 into 2x. Now addition of all of them should give you the total price, that is equal to 9,200. Okay, so I have 1200x plus, now if I multiply here I get 640x, that is equal to 9,200. Okay, now if I add it here, what do I get? End up with the x0481, that is equal to 9,200. Divide by both sides by 1,840. Now what can we do here? We'll multiply by 5 and check, right? Because that will give you a round off number. Otherwise, if you multiply by 6, you will not end up with a 6. What do I need? I need to end up with a 0. So I just multiply by 5 and check. So 1,840 multiplied by 5. So 0, 5 into 0 is 0, 5 into 4 that is 20, 8 into 5, 40 plus 2, 42, 4 here, 1 into 5 is 5, plus 4 that is 9. Clearly, x is equal to 5. That means you can buy 5 bats, twice the number of 5, that is equal to 10. You can buy 10 balls for 9,200. Right? Right. Now we'll go to the next one. Right? That is your 2022 or 3. What we did is 2022. Now we'll go to the next one, 2023 past paper. Now we'll read that. So I have books and pens were donated to the grade 10 and 11 students of a certain school in the following manner. A total of 516 books with 6 books for each grade 10 student and 18 books for each grade 11 student. Now by simply reading this, you can understand the number of students of grade 10 is one unknown term. The number of students in grade 11 is another unknown term, right? The second one, a total of 300 pens with 3 pens for each grade 10 student and 5 pens for each grade 11 student. By taking the number of, so I told you, write a small summary, right? So you have 10 and 11, right? Grade 10 and grade 11, right? At the same time, you are giving books and you are giving pens, right? So a grade 10 student, well, if you read the Roman number 1, the grade 10 students is X, grade 11 students is Y, the number. Okay, so here this is equal to X here, this is equal to Y. One student is getting 6 books, grade 10 students is getting 6 books and 3 pens, the grade 11 student is getting 8 books and 5 pens. Okay, now you can see here the total number of books is given, that is equal to 560, the total number of pens is 300, right? Now you can see here, if one person is getting 6 books, there are X number of people, so in grade 10 you have to give 6X number of pens. At the same time, if there are Y number of students in grade 11, one student is getting 8 books, so then 8 into Y will give you the number of books given to grade 11. So this is the number of books given to grade 10 plus the number of books given to grade 11. The total addition should give you the total number of books, that is 516, your first equation. Likewise, you can do here 3 pens for the grade 10s. So grade 10 there are X number, so 3X plus same thing on the grade 11, that is 5Y, that is equal to 300 total number of pens. Okay, same idea here, we need to find the unknown term. So easiest, you can see here, you can remove the X here, you just have to multiply this equation by 2, you can convert into 6, right? So second equation, I'll multiply by 2 here, so I end up with 2 into 3X plus 2 into 5Y, that is equal to 2 into 300, right? So 2 into 3X, that is 6X plus 2 into 5Y, 10Y, that is equal to 600. Alright, so now I have the third equation, I no longer need the second one. Now if you compare 1 and 3, right, you have 6X, same sign. To remove it you have to subtract, but make sure Y is positive, so this is larger, this is smaller, so it's 3 minus 2 to make it positive, right? Third one on your left hand side, you have 6X plus 10Y minus, yes, your first one you have 6X plus 8Y. Now that is equal to, what do you have, 600 minus 516. Okay, now if you remove the bracket, you end up with 6X plus 10Y minus 6X minus 8Y. You subtract here, you get 84. Okay, now if you do the subtraction, 6X minus 6X will become 0, 10Y minus 8Y, I'll do it on this side, 10Y minus 8Y, that is 2Y, that is equal to 84. Divide both sides by 2 here, you end up with Y is equal to 42. That is the number of students in grade 11, that is equal to 42. Now to find the number of grade 10 students, I'll use the second equation here. So substitute Y to second equation. Okay, now 3X plus 5Y, now I know the value of Y, that is 42, that is equal to 300. Okay, so 3X, now 5 into 42, that is 210, that is equal to 300. Take the 210 to this side, I have 3X is equal to 300 minus 210, now that is 90, so 3X is equal to 90, divide both sides by 3, X is equal to 30. That is the number of students in the grade 10 class, right? So now your Roman number 2, what does it say? It says that in another school who is proposed to distribute books and pens, although the total number of students in grade 10 and 11 is the same. So total number of students, total, not individually. Now in another school, the total number of grade 10 and 11, that is 72. 42 plus 30. The number of students in grade 11 is twice the number of students in grade 10. Same thing, right? If you take the number of students in grade 10 as X here, now the number of students in grade 11, that is 2X. That is X plus 2X is equal to 72. Right? Show that 12 additional books are required to distribute books and pens in these schools in the same manner as before. Right? Now, first thing what you can do, you can find the number of students in grade 10 and 11. Hey guys, I'm doing this a bit fast because this is a video. You can pause, send here and there, right? I'm not giving you time to think and all of that. So you pause the video, think, then again play it. You get the idea, right? So if I take the grade 10 students as X here, the grade 11 students is twice the number, that is 2X. But they told you the total number doesn't change, that is 72. So if I have here X plus 2X is equal to 72, 3X is equal to 72, divide both sides by 3, I end up with 24. That means in grade 10 now, I have 24 students. Grade 11, I have twice as such, that is 48. But the question doesn't end there. They are telling you, show that you need 12 additional books to distribute the same manner as before. Right? Now see here, if I have 24 students, I give each grade 10 students 6 books. I'll erase this side also. Right? Each grade 10 students I'm giving 6 books. So then I have 6 into 24. This is for grade 10. Plus 8 books for grade 11. 8 into 48. Right? Now if I add it, multiply here, 6 into 24. So 6 into 20 is 120. 6 into 4, that is 24. So 144. Plus 8 into 40, that is 320. 8 into 8 is 64, so 384. Okay, so if I add 4 plus 4, that is 8, 4 plus 8, that is 12, 1 here, 1, 2, and 3, that is 5. So I end up with, I need 528 books. Now originally I had only 516, so if I subtract here 528 from 516, that means I need 12 additional books in the other school to distribute in the same manner as before. Right? Now that is your 2023. Right? I know the video is already long, but you can pause it when you want it. Right? We'll do the last question because I promised to do 3 simultaneous equation questions. Right? Okay. Now the 2024. What does it say? The packs of 10 small plates each and packs of 5 large plates each were bought to serve sweetmeats to the adults and children who attended the party. Okay, so in one pack there are 10 small plates, in another pack there are what? 5 big plates. Now you already understood the number of packs is the unknown term. Number of small packs is one unknown term. The number of large packs is the other unknown term. Right? The price of a small pack was 150 and the price of a large pack was 120. Okay, price of a pack of a large plate, you get the idea. The total number of plates that were bought was 200 and the total number of plates that were, the total number of plates was 200 and the total cost was 3,720. So by taking the pack as X small, right, if I have here small and large, right, now a small pack is X, number of packs, okay, then the number of packs is of large is Y. Then here plates, I have 10 plates here and 5 plates here, right. Now see, I can make 2 equations. The first one is depending on the number of plates. So one pack has 10 plates, there are X number of packs, so number of plates in the small pack is 10x. Similarly, there are 5 plates in a large pack. Y is the number of large packs, so then plus 5. This will give me the total number of plates that they have given, that is 200. Okay, that's my first one. At the same time, now you can stick to price there. One large pack is 150. I have small pack. I have X number of small pack. So one pack is 150. So X number 150 into X. Similarly, this is 120. So 120 into Y, that is equal to 3,720. Now if I solve this pair of simultaneous equation, I'll get I'll get the number of small packs and large packs. Okay. So see here. So if I need to remove X here, right, the LCM, I can convert this 10 to 150 by multiplying by 15. At the same time, I can convert this 5 to 120 by multiplying by 24. I think multiplying by 15 is easier. So let's stick to that, right? So first equation I'll multiply by 15. So 15 into 10x plus 15 into 5y, that is equal to 15 into 200. Right, if I do the multiplication, I get 150x plus 75y, that is equal to 3000. That's my third equation. So I don't need the first one anymore. So if I compare 2 and 3 here, I can remove x here by subtracting. Remember, same sign, subtraction. Right? To make y positive, I'll do 2 minus 3. Okay? So 150x plus 120y minus 150x plus 75y, that is equal to 3720 minus 3000. Okay, now if I remove the bracket here, 150x plus 120y minus 150x minus 75y, that is equal to 720. Okay, right, now I can cut it off. 150x minus 150x will become 0. 120y minus 75y, that is equal to how much? 45. 45y is equal to 720. Right, now divide both sides by 45 here. Right, now I'll try multiplying by 20. Now 10 obviously no, right? If you divide by 10, it should be 450. Right, 20, you can't do 20 also. It should be, if you do 20, it will be 900. So we'll do 14, somewhere around 14 or 16, because to get a 0 value here, right? So then we'll do 16, right? So 45 into 16, let's say, if I multiply, 4 into 5 is 30, 4 into 6 is 24, plus 3, 27, erase this off. 1 into 5, the 0 here, 1 into 5 is 5, 1 into 4 is 4, so 0, 12, yes, 720, right? So that means y is equal to 16 here, the number of large plates, right? Now I can substitute to the first equation, that's way more easier. So substitute y to equation number 1, okay? So 10x plus 5 into, I know y now, 16, that is equal to 200. 5 into 16, that is 80. So 10x here, that is equal to 200. Bring the 80 to this side. 10x is equal to 200 minus 80. So that is equal to 120. So 10x is equal to 120. Divide both sides by 10. X is equal to 12. So that means there are 12 small plates and 16 number of packs of large plates. Right. Now see here, last one, Roman number 2. Each small plate had the same number of sweetmeats as each small plate had the same number of sweetmeats, and each large plate had 2 sweetmeat more than the small plate. That means, let's say if I take a number, if the small plate had 10 sweetmeats, now sweetmeats in a sweet, let's say sweet, okay? So each small plate had 10, that means one large plate will have 12. Okay, so that's what they are saying, just as an example. So if I take a small plate has A, the large plate will have A plus 2, one plate. Now we found out there are 16 packs of large plates. Each pack has 5 plates. So that means how much large plates are there? 5 into 16, that is 80 large plates. Similarly, we found out there are 12 packs of small plates. Each pack has 10 plates, so that means there are a total of 120 small plates, right? So one small plate, if it has A number, so 120 into A should give you the number of sweetmeats in the small plate. Plus, if one large plate has A plus 2, there are 80 large plates. So 80 into A plus 2 should give you the sweets in the large plate. Addition of both the number of sweets is the total number of sweets. Now if you solve the equation, here there is only one unknown term, find the value of A, that will give you the sweets in the small plate. So 120A plus, if you remove the bracket, 80 into A, that is 80A, 80 into 2, that is 160, that is equal to 1160. Take the 160 here, 120 plus 80, that is 200A, that is equal to 1160 minus 60. So 200A is equal to 1000. Divide both sides by 200 here. A is equal to 5. That means one small plate will have 5 sweets in there, right? Okay, so that is the end of this video, and it's a long video, right, around like 45 minutes. Okay, So then if you had watched until last, good. Otherwise you can pause it, watch it later, no problem. I know 45 minutes video is long, even I don't watch 45 minutes video, that's a bit long. But then here I took that long because I explained you what is simultaneous, how to solve it, and then we discussed 3 questions. Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching until the last. Make sure that you follow along to get more such videos where it's very informative, very direct, and no BS around the video, right? Take care guys, bye bye, see you in the next video.